Hi guys, and welcome back to the grand finals of the eSports World Championship held in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. I found all of the replays here and I'm going to be casting the whole series here onto this channel. After many Starcraft Broodwar replays, I finally decided to cast the grand finals here. And what a better engagement to have here than SERRAL versus CLEM. So an all-European match out here in between the two pros. So let me just start by introducing them to you guys. We have spawning here in the upper right. In the red it is SERRAL from Finland, and his opponent who is spawning here in the lower left in the blue it is CLEM from France. So yeah, all European grand final. I believe the prize money is around 400,000. The complete prize money is $1 million. So a great event we have here indeed, held by Saudi Arabia, and really nice that Saudi Arabia is investing so much into esport and also into Starcraft 2. Yeah, so let's just watch the build orders from the two pros. Let's just see exactly what they're going for. A pretty standard build order here for CLEM. Gas is already being done, supply depot into barracks. And let's have a look at SERRAL, who is going straight for a fast expansion build order here into this location. There is his spawning pool, and I believe very soon he's also going to start his gas. So the gas position looking like really close to each other. The map is called Past Youth. We even have some gold here, and I don't know if you should be able to mine this, but yeah, let's just have a look if this is indeed going to happen. So yeah, both players just scouting out the map. SERRAL's overload already making it out, and finally we do have the SCV already moving out here for CLEM. I believe he just wants to check if it is going to be a fast expansion build order, and indeed there is a possibility here for rich mineral fields that looks like gold. So of course SERRAL is going to mine those first, as the SCV has moved here forward, and I believe he's going to try to block as much as he can the second expansion build order here for SERRAL. So of course around the 2-minute and 30-second mark, SERRAL really has to take his other expansion as he's sending out those Zerglings here. But we also see a Reaper now coming in forward, so some Zerglings might get sniped here. Very smart move by him, and also very aggressive move by him. I believe many more Reapers will move out, but no, actually CLEM decides to go for an expansion on his own, as he's going for a factory now, interesting enough. So this could be a 1-1-1 build order, 1 barracks into factory into starport. And yeah, let's have a look how the game is going to unfold, as the Reaper of course gives important information here towards CLEM what exactly is going on. He might even try to scout the main here from SERRAL just to see exactly where the tier 2 is going to happen, or if there's going to be a transition into a tier 2 or some mutilies for some lurkers perhaps early on, as SERRAL just creeps on spreading of course more and more creep out onto the map. Yeah, let's have a look at CLEM. I'm actually also going for another expansion, so he's playing very safe, very nicely, very macro orientated. So he wants of course to focus on his macro game, allowing SERRAL here to expand. So it's not going to be an aggressive move out very soon by CLEM. I believe he's just going to try to inflict as much economic damage as he can with those Hellions, and maybe if he's lucky he could snipe many drones around this place, or even move out into this place right here. Let's have a look at SERRAL once again, as he's going for Roach Warrant. So this could be actually very good for SERRAL if he's deciding to inflict early damage versus CLEM. CLEM is playing very Gojo, going for his second expansion, so not that many units will be available here for CLEM, and that's exactly what SERRAL is looking for. He sees now the expansion, so he knows that a timing push with some roaches can be very deadly here versus his opponent. And let's just see if he's going to commit forward into producing mass roaches and attack CLEM. Of course CLEM is going to rely onto some tanks very soon. Tanks of course a great counter against roaches, as we see more creep is getting spread here. But we also have a move out, luckily here for SERRAL. He didn't lose any drones, as the Queens are now on standby to defend here versus the small engagement by CLEM. But like I told you, this can be very deadly if the Hellions get some good shots versus the drones. Lots and lots of splash damage could be taken of course by the drones there, and lots of them can be snapped. And there we have the tier 2 almost halfway being done. So of course CLEM is going to try to buy some time for his expansions, just moving around with his units. And let's have a look what he's going for some upgrades, of course, stim for the Marines, more SCVs, more add-ons, and we also have more in production here for SERRAL. His tier 2 is going to finish very soon. Double evolution chamber for those upgrades. Steam is about to get finished, and there we have the expansion a little bit exposed. So let's see what's the plan from CLEM is going to be here, as he's moving out with still this small group of units. But we do have a medivac. Let's see what this medivac has loaded. Some marines. So let's see. I believe he's going to try to drop them straight into this location. There are no spores available here for SERRAL, so this can be very deadly. But there is an overlord now sensing this, and I believe CLEM is even going to try to cancel this gold expansion right here. He's already taking quite some damage, so he's going to just please himself with the overlord kill. And let's have a look if he's going to be lucky to snap a queen or two. He's going for the hatchery straight, so this is very good for him, forcing a cancellation here. But in comes SERRAL with his roaches, so he should be able to push this back. Oh, nice stuff here by both players. Still a nice sniping here by CLEM, forcing the cancellation, so winning some time. Now I believe he's going to try to come back and just sniping as much as he can. Very smart move here by CLEM. And let's see if he's going to be lucky into moving here forward. Only one roach defending here. In come the reinforcements. SERRAL also with a great defense here versus the French player. At the same time, the attack comes here forward with those units. 5, even 6 drones have been sniped. So pretty good trade in the end. This is going to get cleared. So 6 drones have been sniped. Nice move by CLEM. Losing, however, of course, all of his units there. So pretty much a suicide mission in the end, trading 2 Helens, 1 Reaper versus the 6 drones. I believe it's a fair trade. We actually even have a tier 3 upgrade now here for SERRAL. Let's see what exactly his plans are, as he's going for some banings and the expansion of producing, of course, more minerals here for them. So it's still anyone's game, of course. Roaches versus Marines, very good. Nice upgrade into the Reaper there. So let's have a look what's going to happen here, as the creep is getting more spread out by SERRAL. So slowly Lobaselli is creating a highway towards CLEM here. So is he going to commit very soon? As I believe as soon as he's going to be maxed out, we might see an attack happening here for SERRAL. And notice that CLEM, just with a small group of 2 medivacs and marines, he's able to keep SERRAL actually at bay. And we have actually some early infestors here for SERRAL, so we might see some fungal growth very soon into those units. And there it is, finally, a great fungal here by SERRAL, as he should be able to clear also many of those marines, and at the same time just keeps on spreading the creep here all around the map. I believe a new group of medivacs is moving out here, so CLEM very nicely keeping here SERRAL at bay, but 1 medivac might get sniped. In the end, a great micro here for CLEM, saving the units. And this is actually the tactic from CLEM. He's just pretty much attacking on 2 fronts, in the south and in the north, trying to inflict as much damage as he can, trying to keep SERRAL actually at home. But now SERRAL, realizing this, of course, is going to move out. His creep spread is very good. He has those queens behind to defend, so I believe he's going to try to pretty much move forward and at the same time do a full-on scale attack versus CLEM. So let's have a look what's going to happen here, as CLEM is still moving around with his double medivacs, still trying to inflict as much damage as he can versus the economy, but at the same time trying to keep, like I told you, SERRAL at home as much as he can. So SERRAL not being able to move out yet. Maybe he's going to try to split his troops and attack on with some banings, with some Zerglings. Notice that the defenses aren't really strong here for CLEM into his expansions. Just some spread out tanks here. They can of course be overflown, perhaps with an Nidus one, perhaps with an Overlord. And let's see what the plans from SERRAL are. He's also playing very safe. Just keeps on expanding all over the map. Already having 87 workers versus the 75 here from... But hold on, actually we have a straight move out. However, CLEM knows of course this map very nicely. He's found a very nice choke point here. So it's pretty much impossible here for SERRAL to attack. Those marines would have been nicely healed up by the medivacs. So very interesting move by CLEM. And now he's moving out far more. So we have the tanks on the low ground, slowly but steadily pushing here forward for CLEM. So very nice strategic gameplay here by CLEM, but SERRAL reacting with a complete different front attack here with some roaches into the newly established bases here from CLEM. I believe he should be able, of course, to cancel this and snipe the SCV. So nice move by him. I believe he going to try to continue to move forward, but there are some tanks in the back, so he needs to be careful. Just buying some time, and interesting enough, SERRAL just keeps on standing here, so pretty much suiciding those units, not paying attention. That was a huge chunk of roaches being taken out, so SERRAL with some mistakes early on, but I believe it may have been just a distraction move, as he's now moving forward with a fully 5 Overlord drop. Let's have a look what this is going to be doing. Not that many turrets here into this location. We do have a Viking. SERRAL needs to hurry up, as very soon the reinforcements are moving forward. There's the distraction call here into this location, so SERRAL's Overlord might be targeted very soon by the flying Vikings here. As still, of course, it's a very hard position for him to attack here forward, as CLEM has this choke point into his advantage. He's once again trying to attack, trying to cast some vials here, but in the end CLEM is holding, and those Overlords, this might be now the chance for them to unload, as all of the forces here from CLEM have moved out, so this can be very, very deadly. We see some attacks with some ghosts, in comes the drop with some Zerglings. I believe some Banings are here as well. Everything is getting dropped now. 2 SCVs have already fallen, so very, very nice move here by SERRAL, but it's just a couple of Zerglings, and in the end the reinforcements are right on time. At the same time, we see the real attack happening here into this location, but lots and lots of sacrifices here for SERRAL, not really making it happen. He did, of course, snipe 21 workers, but his supplies dropped to 117, so was it worth it? We're about to find out. Very good damage by him, so it was actually a double attack. I sadly missed the attack here into this location. Still, the tanks did hold their ground. This tank on the high ground with already 11 kills, this one with 17, but SERRAL has to now replenish his forces, as CLEM is now the one moving out. We do have some Ultras now already out on the map. Zerglings with Ultras, with some Banings. I believe this is the tactics here from SERRAL, as he's once again moving out, trying to snipe perhaps those Marines. CLEM tries to win more time. A great fungal has been casted, but there is no anti-air, and let's see if SERRAL is going to commit here forward versus the opponent. Still some Overlords here on standby, as we of course passed the 10-minute mark, so let's see what's going to happen here, what the next steps are going to be. 93 workers already here for SERRAL. SERRAL looking really, really strong, as CLEM tries to, of course, to gain more map awareness, map control, to snipe those creep eggs on the ground. Yeah, let's see, as things have settled down here a little bit. A great defensive indeed here by CLEM. 2 ramps, very, very nicely defended here by the French player. And let's see what's going to happen. Perhaps SERRAL is once again going to attack on 2 different fronts. He has those infestors buried, so those fungals are going to be very, very deadly versus the opponent. We do have, however, a planetary fortress here for CLEM. It's very, very hard for SERRAL to attack here forward. With some Banings, perhaps he's going to be lucky. With some Vipers, with some Ultras. Let's see what exactly he's going to do. Perhaps he's going to try to surround all of those units here from CLEM, and we're about to find out what is going to happen. Once again, a fungal can be casted, of course. Great fungals indeed, immediately getting sniped till the damage has been done, and SERRAL preparing the attack. But there is a group of Marines. Banings are moving forward. This can be very, very good for SERRAL, as he's sniping so many of those units here. Still, lots and lots of Zerglings and Banings have been lost, but still so many Marauders and Marines have been sniped. So good engagement here for SERRAL. However, the supply from them is climbing more up, and SERRAL struggling perhaps a little bit here, even though his economy is looking very, very strong. Time just keeps on taking base after base. Same can be said here for SERRAL, so very balanced mid-game we have here. And let's see how this is going to continue, as both players have very, very good upgrades here. Perhaps more Vipers and more Infestors will be the answer. Maybe mass fungals here, or mass parasitic bombs for SERRAL, and great scans are going out, the ghosts, to counter these units. But hold on, we actually have a full on engagement here. Still, this defense right here looking very, very strong, and I believe that SERRAL should, of course, try to find perhaps a better position here to attack. Perhaps once again with those Overlords, that was a very good idea for him, with some Banings here, just to attack the production buildings from the opponent, as the defense is looking way too strong here for CLEM, and he's moving forward. So yeah, he's actually abusing those ramps right here. He's abusing these buildings right here. But hold on, slowly but steadily CLEM is now actually the one moving out, and the gold base might be under siege very, very soon, as the ghosts are moving forward and just sniping unit after unit. Small group of Marines just to snipe some drones here. And yeah, now all of a sudden SERRAL is being forced to stay back, as CLEM seems to be slowly but steadily pushing out, spreading those tanks Let's have a look at the counter attack here for SERRAL with a couple of Zerglings, upgraded Zerglings moving forward. The tanks are a little bit now exposed. Still this tank right here with 12 kills already. So SERRAL now being the one buying some time, finding some choke points, moving here forward, snapping some SCVs. In the end, this is going to be cleared, of course. And yeah, let's have a look how this game is going to continue. A very, very interesting game, but you can see how slowly but steadily CLEM is actually making some progress. He's moving forward, he now has the high ground, and he's now threatening the gold base here from his opponent. The Vipers are trying to suck as much mana as they can and to inflict more and more damage. Even some blinding clouds will be much needed here for SERRAL, as now his base is important. The gold base is pretty much under siege here by CLEM, and slowly but steadily CLEM is moving forward, inflicting more and more damage. SERRAL has more and more bases, but the important middle base here is pretty much under siege now by CLEM, and this could be a great opportunity for him to move straight forward even towards the important bases here from SERRAL. We even have a Nidus Swarm, a Nidus connection here for SERRAL. We have more mobility onto the map as he's now moving out with his Zerglings and with his Hydralisk here. Perhaps some lurkers are going to be much needed versus the bio here from CLEM, as we see another base getting finished here for SERRAL, and SERRAL deciding to move into a different front. CLEM tries to counter with some medivacs as another base on the high ground is going to get taken very soon here by CLEM, and in comes the attack for SERRAL with so many fungals, with so many bangs, but no connections are getting yet done here by him. At the same time, there's another attack into this location, but still the defenses from CLEM do hold. So yeah, slowly but steadily CLEM is gaining more and more of a map control here onto this map, and more mules just to mine as much minerals as they can, even though the economy here from SERRAL looks really pretty much overwhelming with all of his 91 workers. Just pretty much is sucking the map dry of minerals and gas, just going to try to even suicide some units here, taking out important tanks in the middle of the map. At the same time, going to try to perhaps attack here into this location, but there's a planetary fortress for his opponent guarded by tanks, so very hard for him to attack here, as the Ghost might snipe some important units very soon. Still, CLEM of course retreating to the high ground. He knows he has the positional advantage, and now the Ultrisk is going to be able to take some damage as CLEM once again is moving forward, sniping some units. And let's have a look. It's just a nice back and forward game here, and I believe this base has been sniped, so sadly I did miss this. Perhaps CLEM did a drop there, so sadly I completely missed this one, as so much action is going on here into the map. Slowly but steadily we're closing towards the 20-minute mark. So nicely interconnecting his bases with some Nidus Swarms, but CLEM is the one gaining more and more of a map control here. And the middle of the map, the important middle of the map, pretty much under control now for CLEM, with his tanks, with his Ghosts here. Pretty much scanning the area here, seeing how many bases the opponent has. At the same time, there's another drop happening here, so CLEM actually inflicting lots and lots of damage towards his opponent, sniping already the second hatchery. So SERRAL, of course, with a very greedy gameplay, in the end he can't possibly just guard all of those hatcheries all around the world, so CLEM inflicting good damage with his medivacs, with his marines, upgraded marines, of course, with Stim, very strong. He's pretty much going straight for the hatchery just to snipe him, and now SERRAL just has to make up his mind somehow. Didn't really inflict lots and lots of damage, only the drop right here did some good damage, but CLEM is the one gaining more and more of an advantage here. He might even be lucky to snipe some overlords here, as SERRAL just keeps on expanding here all over the map. But CLEM, of course, countering with a couple of group of marines with only 2 medivacs. He's able to inflict lots and lots of damage, as he's now going to try to find a good position here in the middle of the map once again. But the banelings will take some damage, so the tanks seems to be the great counter here towards this, and of course this will force, and actually did force, SERRAL to go for Broodlords. So the perfect counter against the bio here from CLEM. Broodlords with infestors, with vipers. He just needs to be careful against the Ghosts on the ground, and there we have the fungals very soon. But this is nicely getting snapped, and only one sniper being able to take that out, so very nice move by the opponent, by CLEM here, as those Broodlords will be very important here to guard for SERRAL. And here we have almost an attack, almost the Broodlords were able to shut down those snipers, as now CLEM is moving forward. He's going for the other hatchery. He might be able to snipe so many drones here, as he's sniping one after drone after the other, and now he's going for the hatchery. So great move here by CLEM happening. He's gaining more and more of a control of the map, and SERRAL not very much mobile with his Broodlords, just has to stay back and he's losing yet another hatchery here. So CLEM with a third snipe and even sniping 10 drones here. Great fungal however now, and now the Broodwars will be sniped by the ghosts. One unit after the other is getting sniped here, but the counter is looking also very strong. The tanks also get some great search shots here, so very nice position here by the opponent. But a great fungal now being casted by SERRAL, so both players are trading blows here, and at the same time we see another attack happening here with some tanks actually now here for CLEM, as he wants this base to be taken out very soon. So both players pretty much maxed out, both players pretty much high on army very soon. I believe they're going to try to suicide some workers here just to gain more of a army supply. Still, I really like this position here for CLEM on the high ground. Those tanks just with so many kills, this one with 42 already and this one with 39. So what a great tank army here CLEM has. Hold on, let's have a look at this attack by SERRAL as he's moving forward with his Broodwars, finally being able to snipe some of the tanks, and at the same time there is nothing here. So yeah, let's have a look. The counter here from CLEM is happening with some ghosts, and now all of the Broodwars are pretty much exposed here, as SERRAL is going to try to guard them somehow, but so many Broodwars have dropped here. So sadly here for SERRAL, he's losing important units versus the ghosts on the ground, and at the same time he's just pretty much going to bring here some reinforcements, some Zerglings perhaps, to counter the newly established base by CLEM, but that is already guarded with some tanks. So sadly here for SERRAL, he's losing important units versus those snipers. The snipers are a great counter towards all of those Broodwars in the air. So very nice stuff here by CLEM, as CLEM was also taking an important base here and even has some Tors now. So of course Tors very strong versus air and ground, and in comes the attack. Of course the Zerglings have to run away, this base has to be abandoned. SERRAL is trying to counter here, but how many Broodwars does he have left? Only 3 here. So very important units have been snapped, like I told you. Only some Vipers and some Zerglings with some high risk here. Nice blinding clouds, but in the end those 3 Broodwars, I'm not quite sure how much damage can they do. And now finally income Benings, they will be the ones dealing the real damage here and immediately going for the planetary fortress, sniping it down. So very nice move here by him. So let's see, some overlords are pretty much getting suicided here into this location. At the same time SERRAL moving out with his Zerglings, but there's a nice beeline with some 2 tanks. However, SERRAL should be the one now in advantage, but he decides to move back as the planetary fortress would have been able to deal so much splash damage here versus the opponent. And the income CLEM once again, he should be able to clear this out, taking another important expansion here with those Tors, with those snipers, inflicting more and more damage towards SERRAL. So SERRAL losing more map control, as this base might be taken here by CLEM very soon. So what a interesting game number 1 we have here. Crazy game in between the 2 pros. CLEM losing this base but immediately having an orbital to rebuild it, and now in comes CLEM actually moving forward another base that is pretty much looking like it's going to be abandoned by SERRAL. So SERRAL showing us that he's not that much mobile. Those Broodwars in the air are of course not that fast. He's going to try to counter this, finally going to be able to take out some tanks, but yeah, is it going to be worth it? We're about to find out. There's so many Tors are here to defend versus this location, and CLEM bringing his reinforcements forward. The snipers, the ghosts, great fungals have been casted here, as the ghosts once again getting some great shots versus the important units here from SERRAL. SERRAL pretty much throwing everything he has here, but is it going to be enough? The Tors hold their ground, some of them will be surrounded. CLEM, SERRAL pretty much holding everything he has, and now the ghosts finally will be able to snipe some units out. So yeah, great stuff here by CLEM. CLEM holding his ground. Of course he had to do this, the tanks were on siege, the snipers were exactly on time here to bring up the reinforcements, and CLEM looking more and more stronger here, as now the Tors are slowly but steadily moving forward, and SERRAL just pretty much going for Zerglings only. SERRAL supply blocked at 170 supply, CLEM pretty much maxed out with 145 of a supply of an army. Looking really strong here for him. SERRAL decides to take another expansion. Hold on, let's have a look at this attack. The tanks in the back will be able to shoot with mass expansions. So let's have a look. SERRAL going to try to go for a great surround, and in come the Banings. Will they get some connections? The tanks are shooting from the back. The Tors even getting nicely microed here by CLEM. A great move. Even the planetary fortress is shooting, and SERRAL once again losing lots and lots of units here as the Tors are marching forward, being guided here by the ghosts in the front. And now I believe CLEM knows that he has the advantage. He's moving forward, getting however fungal here, another fungal, so he needs to be careful. Great EMP shockwaves against the infestors, and nice stuff here by both players. But it's just a couple of high risk versus the liberators in the air and the Tors, and the Ghost once again proving to be very strong, sniping one unit after the other. So lots and lots of damage is all of a sudden being taken here by SERRAL, as he's only being able to defend with some Zerglings and with some Hydras here. And yeah, slowly but steadily the Terran is moving forward, gaining inch after inch here of this map. So very nice stuff here by CLEM. And once again the Ghost seems to be the MVP here, just sniping unit after unit, and now the hatchery is pretty much exposed. And let's have a look. It's going to try, of course, to lure him forward into the tanks, into the Liberators. And yeah, more damage is being taken here by SERRAL. So a very smart move by CLEM, just luring him forward with the Ghost towards the Liberators, towards the tanks. And slowly but steadily SERRAL is losing unit after unit. You can see it on the blood on the ground. Those were all Zerglings or Hydralisks here. So very hard situation here for SERRAL, as even now the hatchery is going to get snapped. 7 HP onto this one hatchery. And another important base have been sniped here, as CLEM is now pretty much taking control of the middle of the map. 2 more drones have fallen. SERRAL has to find a good position here to pull back. He's bringing forward some Ultralisk. Let's have a look. He's just moving forward straight towards all of the units here from CLEM, as the battling clouds have also been casted here. So nice stuff. But in the end, of course, yeah, he knows that CLEM had a way better position, a way better economy. So CLEM with a very patient game number 1 being the victory. So what a crazy game we have here indeed. Great stuff here by both players. A very balanced and very we had a very nice strategic gameplay here by CLEM. And like I told you, very patient gameplay here by him, and in the end the important units from SERRAL have been taken out by the Ghosts from CLEM. Yeah, those Broodwars of course standing no chance with a slow speed move versus the Ghosts from CLEM. So yeah, we're on game number 2, this time on Golden Aura. We have once again spawning in the low right, in the blue it is CLEM from France, and his opponent here in the upper left in the red it is SERRAL from Finland. So let's just see how SERRAL is going to adapt to this. Is he going to perhaps try something else? Is he perhaps going to be more aggressive with some roach pushes and so on? Because in the late game, in the middle game, it seems that the Terran had of course the upper hand with the most stronger units, especially those tanks on the high ground. Really valuable units here for CLEM, just inflicting so much splash damage towards those Zerglings and Banelings, and they haven't really been touched by SERRAL. So with that, of course, CLEM gaining more of an advantage throughout the map. So yeah, like I told you, let's just see how SERRAL is going to adapt. What exactly is he going to be doing? Pretty much the same build order, gas expansion here for him into gas, and very soon he's very likely going to continue with a spawning pool. And in the meantime, also very normal build order, gas into supply depot and then the barracks, as he might also try to go for an expansion very soon. And there we have the overload for SERRAL already moving out here onto the map. The production tab still here in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. So yeah, we're about to see a very interesting series indeed in between the two pros from Europe. The games have been played of course in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, sorry. So yeah, grand finals from the Riyadh Masters here. Let's see how the game is continuing. Indeed, CLEM decides to take his expansion with only one Reaper here to harass a little bit the expansion points from SERRAL. Perhaps he's going to be lucky to snipe one drone or two as he's moving out now here with his Reaper. Let's have a look also at SERRAL. Still no Roach Warren, so no intentions for him to be aggressive. There is the speed for the Zerglings being done, and there's the expansion with the first Queen also ready to move out very soon for him. And of course the Queen much needed to have the counter against those Reapers. And we also had a SCV there. Let's see how this is going to continue. Pretty standard harassment by the Terran versus the Zerg, and I believe this is going to be stopped very soon, as the Queen is going to pop out here for SERRAL. So yeah, quite the normal Terran versus Zerg early gameplay. We have the Queen. Queen is going to be spread out very soon, as interesting enough the Queen actually moving out here for SERRAL, first just to secure the other expansion point, just in case there were some SCVs there for CLEM. Let's have a look at CLEM. There's his factory. A starport might be placed very soon for him, and there it is. And at the same time also a command center here for CLEM. So he's going for a pretty much the same build order, just like he did in game number 1 for him. So yeah, there's the gas. So nice stuff for him. I believe CLEM once again preparing the same strategy just like he did in game number 1. It worked out really well for him. SERRAL also with the same build order right now. no intentions for him to be aggressive early on versus his opponent. And yeah, let's just see how the game is going to continue. Hellions are being produced here for CLEM, so he might try this time with more Hellions. He had around 2 Hellions in game number 1, now he's going for 4, so he's really opting to pretty much inflict now early damage towards the expansion, towards the economy from his opponent. So the move out is going to happen very soon. Perhaps some medivacs will support this, and let's just see what CLEM is going to be able to do with this push out versus SERRAL. I believe the expansion right here will be targeted. This one's not finished, actually just now finished, but no drones there. As in come the Hellions with the Reapers, but Queens are ready to stand by and defend here for SERRAL. So yeah, SERRAL still on Zergling's tier 2, hasn't started yet for him, as we slowly but steadily close towards the 5-minute mark. And the Hellions looking like they will pretty much regroup here, so it could be a full-on scale attack towards the expansion points, but the Rams are nicely getting blocked here by SERRAL. No coming through here for CLEM perhaps. So this location could be very interesting to see if CLEM is going to choose that location. But there's also many overlords in the edges, giving great vision here for SERRAL, and he might be lucky to snap one queen, but still there could be transfusions here onto the creep. And at the same time we have a small move out here by SERRAL with a couple of Zerglings. But yeah, no major economic damage inflicted yet by both players. So both players playing very safe, very calculated. Nice spore here, as we do see some banshees, so we have some difference here for CLEM. He's going to try to harass the mineral line here from SERRAL with some banshees. Cloak banshees for him. There's the first one. Cloaking has been finished, and spores are actually here out for SERRAL, so he knows now indeed that there will be banshees coming towards his way thanks to the overlords here into the air. Let's just see how CLEM is going to do here with 2 banshees already. Sadly I missed this one banshee, so that's why of course SERRAL has been forced to go for some spores as the banshees are now moving forward. Perhaps they will be lucky to snap 1 queen or 2. This can be very deadly for SERRAL. Some nice transfusions are going on here. SERRAL is nicely saving, almost saving that 1 queen, as even some Hellions are burning down those Zerglings, and even the expansion right here is taking quite some damage. So CLEM with a much more aggressive move out than game number 1 should be able once again to cancel this expansion right here. So great pickups here for him, having even a larger number of Hellions, and at the same time the banshees are now moving out here for him. At the same time there's the counter attack here for SERRAL. So SERRAL somehow finding some SCVs here, finding some Marines, killing a couple of those, but in the end this will be held, of course. Let's have a look what the banshees will do here, but there is a spore defending for SERRAL, and even some queens here, so 1 banshee might get snapped very soon. The second one also took some damage. In the end this was held. A tank has also been brought here forward by CLEM. So very interesting, a much more aggressive game here by both players, especially with those banshees. 2 more drones have been shut down, but the spore is here ready to defend. Same time another expansion here for SERRAL, as Stim is about to get finished for him, so he might try to move out very soon with some medivacs, with some marines, as some more infantry is getting joined here with some tanks. So this looks like a timing push here for CLEM versus his opponent versus SERRAL. So not that much of a macro oriented game by him. He's pretty much throwing everything he has towards now the newly established base for SERRAL. So let's see how SERRAL is going to react here. He's going to counter with some Zerglings. There should be a tank here. There actually are some Hellions here to defend, so he should be fine. But this will be the real damage dealers here, as the tanks are slowly but steadily closing here forward, and the hatchery once again is getting targeted as the tanks are on the high ground, nicely getting spreaded here. And let's see what this attack is going to be doing here. Some great baiting connections here actually versus the SCVs. 12 SCVs have been taken out, but at the same time there's an important hatchery that is getting lost for SERRAL. So SERRAL does a great counter attack with some banings, with some Zerglings here, splash damage, even taking out those Hellions, and now he's actually pulling forward with lots and lots of Zerglings here, inflicting more and more damage towards the opponent. So CLEM pretty much struggling here. His economy is pretty much under siege. 16 SCVs have been snapped, but also a lucky pick out here by him, as he's gaining control of this location right here. And slowly but steadily it looks like it's not has been finished yet, as the tanks now find a good position behind the mineral patches, and they're nicely getting guarded by those Marines. So let's see, in come the queens with transfusions here, as the Marines have been stimmed up. They're getting nicely healed. The tanks hold their ground. In the end this will be snap, but at the same time we see another baiting connections here with 13 kills. The medivacs are really dealing great healing here towards those marines. In the end, banings will be able to take this out, and this is getting cleared. Only one marine has been left here. But yeah, let's not forget that SERRAL did a great counterattack here towards this location. So CLEM suffering, his economy is suffering really a lot. He's at 54 workers versus the 72 here for SERRAL. So SERRAL with a much better game here for him. We do yet have another attack with some marines, with some medivacs, just like game number 1. One queen has been sniped now, as CLEM is just moving forward now, I believe very soon, towards the main. But there's 3 spores already waiting here for him, and still a small group of, actually 1 marine here only, fighting some Zerglings getting picked up. So with small units, CLEM is actually being annoying as much as he can here versus his opponent. And yeah, still keeping this 1 marine alive, still patrolling this map right here, as the real damage was going to happen here for a much larger force. 1 queen once again getting targeted, not getting sniped, and some banings getting some good connections here. We have actually Widow Mine, so a completely different strategy here by CLEM. CLEM nicely experimenting with his units. We do see some high risk. We might see some lurkers very soon here by SERRAL, as he's now moving out to defend, and at the same time he's going to try to surround the units from the back with some Zerglings. But still CLEM holds his ground. He's nicely kiting now those marines back and forward, just snapping baning after baning, and at the same time there's the counter attack here for SERRAL. But there is a tank on the high ground shooting. Lots of splash damage taken even by the SCVs and by the Zerglings. In the end, this will be held. Only 2 SCVs have been sniped, and SERRAL is also able to hold his expansion right here as we have passed the 10-minute mark. So yeah, very much more aggressive game here by both players. Actually, SERRAL tries to counter those attacks by inflicting damage towards the newly established base, and CLEM looks like he's not being done yet. He's just snapping queen after queen, and now in come the banings. He's just picking up, relocating into a different location right here. There are some spores, there are some queens here, but in the end this will be pushed up. 1 medivac might get sniped. So crazy stuff indeed happening here by CLEM. Pretty much CLEM all over the map, inflicting once again damage towards the newly established base. There are some hydras over here waiting for him. Even some banings getting some good connections. The Widow Mines in the back. Perhaps some tanks would have been better, as in comes the attack once again for CLEM. Notice how he's going always for the high ground. He knows that he has a much better position on the high ground, and those banings are much more slower to gain the advantage. There is creep on the ground, so still good movement speed here for the Zerg units. But yeah, CLEM on the high ground just waiting for those Widow Mines to get some good connections, and perhaps, like I told you, some tanks would have been better here, as once again he's moving forward with a small group of marines here to try to inflict some damage towards the opponent's SERRAL. In the meantime, with some small counter attack as well, as some damage is still being taken here left and right by the units. We still have some medivacs, but they might get intercepted very soon. CLEM needs to be careful not to get damaged here as he's moving out. The Hydra is trying to get some good connections. Still some kiting is happening here back and forward by CLEM, and SERRAL now hiding behind those plants here. So let's have a look what this bailing actually is going to be. Bailing around here forward. The way is pretty much over, but there is some Widow Mines here in order to fend this off. Yeah, in the meantime, just SERRAL moving here forward, but nice spread here by CLEM. A great micro here indeed by CLEM, as of course CLEM is going to try to buy as much time here just to cancel this expansion as much as he can. Very annoying stuff, very professional stuff here by CLEM. In the meantime, his stronger force is moving here once again forward. 1 Widow Mine pretty much exposed, and a great connection this time by the other Widow Mines. At the same time, we see that those banings haven't really done any damage here because the Widow Mine was ready to fend them off. And now finally CLEM bringing forward his tank as he wants once again to snap the hatchery right here. So yeah, let's see how this game is going to unfold. CLEM much more active, much more abusive here onto the map, sniping once again unit after unit. The tank is in the back with 11 kills already. Now he's going for the hatchery once again. A very hard game indeed here for SERRAL to defend, as CLEM once again tries to lure here forward the units from his opponent, but the reinforcements are exactly on time. So the tank is still pretty much alive with 20 kills now all of a sudden. So more and more is taking out here. SERRAL tries to respond, but this choke point is working against him. Finally he's torpedoing those tanks towards the units, and now abducting, sorry. And now CLEM once again on the high ground. The mines are getting some good connections. He's still being able to nicely kite his units back and forward, inflicting more damage towards SERRAL. So very difficult position here indeed for SERRAL to defend, as Marauders have joined now, of course, the army from SERRAL. And now finally we do have seismic spines for those lurkers, so different strategy here for SERRAL. Perhaps SERRAL thinking about lurkers being much better than those Broodlords on the high ground. So let's have a look what's going to happen here, as some good connections with some banings here, as CLEM is actually getting forced to pull back, waiting here for the reinforcements, but still so much of an army here for SERRAL, as CLEM is pretty much getting pushed back, and I believe SERRAL is going to try to take his next expansion very soon here. And yeah, let's have a look what is going to happen. So this time SERRAL with a better defense. CLEM tried of course his best to snap the expansion once again here from his opponent. Tried to abuse the ramp right here, but in the end SERRAL did hold. However, now the important units are once again back. Those ghosts prove to be very strong in game number 1, and we once again see them here onto the field for CLEM, as he's once again trying to lure SERRAL into those widow mines just to inflict that splash dash, much needed splash damage versus the opponent. Notice that there are no infestors this time here for SERRAL, so it's going straight for Vipers, as 2 more Redivacs will be pushing out, I believe, straight towards the newly established base here from his opponent. So CLEM once again multitasking all around the map, trying to inflict as much damage as he can, and now finally he's being able to take out a couple of those lurkers, even dealing damage. And yeah, in comes SERRAL once again, but this might be a distraction move against the upper part of the expansion right here. SERRAL has taken this expansion, but CLEM with a great move, just pretty much dropping those units, and there's the cancellation here for SERRAL, as in comes the push from CLEM, but a nice fungal now being able to catch all of those units here. So very nice move by SERRAL, great defense, great anticipation here by him, as we have passed the 15-minute mark. So very nice defensive gameplay here by SERRAL, as it's really hard for CLEM to push here forward. And in the end the lurkers proving also to be very strong into defending versus the Terran. So yeah, still Widow Mines getting some good connections. There needs to be an Overseer very soon here for CLEM to see the mine. And yeah, let's have a look what the next steps are going to be. CLEM is very close by this time, with some Liberators, with some Ghosts, trying to gain more and more of a tactical advantage here against his opponent. Perhaps going to try to secure the lower left part, just to snipe the newly established base here from SERRAL. And at the same time, with some small task forces, is being able to inflict some damage towards the other bases here from SERRAL. The real damage of course happening here. Some banings are getting sniped, and once again the Liberators and with the mines will be the real damage dealers. SERRAL tries to find a good position for his army. He's moving forward left and right. Even some drones have been sniped here, so yeah, let's just see where exactly or what exactly his plans are. Perhaps he's going to try to go straight for the bases here from CLEM, as he's moving out with some Zerglings here, but there are Widow Mines here, there are real Liberators in the air. Very hard position here for SERRAL. Perhaps a mistake here by him. He's trying to snipe some of the Liberators. At the same time, there's the counter attack for CLEM with a great scan. He's able to take out the lurker, and now he's also inflicting damage towards the hatchery, so he's taking out the hatchery. Very smart move by him, and another hatchery has been taken out. So CLEM with a crazy multitask here indeed, inflicting more damage, great EMP shockwaves, double takeout onto those Vipers. The important units once again here for SERRAL are falling, as the Ghosts once again are proving really strong here for the French player, and he's moving forward. Perhaps he's going to even try to snap some of the banings. So yeah, SERRAL bringing his reinforcements forward. Let's see what's going to happen here. The Liberator getting some great connections. He's going to be taken out very soon by the Hydralisk, and SERRAL looks like he's going to much more inflict damage here, as the banings are rolling here forward, straight towards the economy, straight towards the planetary fortress. In the end, lots and lots of SCVs have actually been saved here by CLEM with a great micro once again. And yeah, nice stuff here by both players, as they're greatly microing those units left and right. We might see a great fungal happening here, and this could be very deadly versus CLEM, as all of those units have been fungal, but in the end the Ghosts are able to push this back. The Widow Mines getting so good connections. The Medivacs also greatly healing all of the units here from CLEM. This is slowly but steadily pushing way forward. Gas has been snapped. There are some Zerglings getting thrown out. Vipers are moving forward, but immediately getting EMP shockwave by the Ghosts. And now CLEM just pretty much holding his ground. He has been infested here with some fungals, but he is being able to establish more and more of a control, and it looks like he's also going to be able to snap this expansion right here. So Liberators with infantry here for him, as he's taking base after base out here versus SERRAL. So SERRAL pretty much struggling. There is 76 workers versus 79. CLEM having more of a supply than his opponent, and now he's pretty much moving out with a great task force to take out the newly established base here from SERRAL. So great moves here by CLEM as he's establishing even control with another base into this location. And yeah, there is the attack. The Nidoswarm has been taken out. Infantry should be able to take out the hatchery very soon. And yes, SERRAL pretty much struggling as he's moving left and right with his units, but more and more of a control of the map is now under CLEM. And let's see what is going to happen here, as even more of an army supply and the mine might have taken a good shot here. So CLEM tries a good flank here versus the opponent. There is the high ground. There we have a parasitic bomb versus the Liberators. SERRAL is pushing forward, but he's not really getting a good connection here, even though he used fungal. Now finally some units will fall here for CLEM, but in the end he holds his ground. He's bringing his reinforcements forward as he's able to snap now the Hydralisk here from the opponent, and at the same time taking another expansion into this lower left location. In comes the counter with a couple of Zerglings, with some Infestors here for the opponent. Liberators are in the air, but CLEM is nicely microing them back and forward. Great fungal here by SERRAL, a great solution to take out those Liberators, as now SERRAL all of a sudden gaining more and more of a control here, and with that I believe he's going to try to snipe the lower left part from his opponent, as this one is pretty much exposed. Only one Widow Mine guarding it, so let's see what's going to happen. SERRAL indeed wants to take out a newly established base from CLEM. CLEM responding with some Widow Mines, with some Marines, once again trying to inflict more and more damage. The Liberators nicely in the back aren't really being touched, so they're being able to deal great damage towards the opponent. Infantry should be able to deal the rest of the damage, as CLEM is able to defend this important base for him. It's a gold base for him, so lots and lots of income for him as well. SERRAL did rebuild the expansion right here. But let's see what's going to happen now. A great Infestor here might go for a fungal. Lots and lots of Liberators in the air with Liberation Zones. All of a sudden CLEM is moving forward. SERRAL tries to snipe the Liberators, try to snipe the important units, but in the end he has dropped to 100 of the supply, so those Liberators in the air would have been able to pretty much obliterate everything, and CLEM establishing the control of the lower left part, proving to be the winning move by him, and also taking out all of the expansions here from SERRAL. So 2-0 already for CLEM. Let's just jump straight into game. And we're back with game number 3 in between the two pro players. Very interesting series we have so far. Quite interesting strategies here, both from CLEM and SERRAL. Let's just see what's going to happen here on, I believe, on a 2 spawning location map. We have spawning in the lower right. In the red it's SERRAL, and its opponent here in the upper left. In the blue it is CLEM. So with CLEM with a different strategy, a more aggressive strategy by him, not playing so more macro oriented, going more and more aggressive with his Marines, having Widow Mines to support his attacks, and those Liberators in the air. Very strong units for him. Let's just see what's exactly is going to happen here, and SERRAL really has to change something in order to come back into this game. So perhaps he is the one going to be more aggressive with some Zerglings, with some Banelings, or perhaps a Roach timing push would be a possibility here for him, as he's opening up with a fast expansion build order, just like in the previous year plays. Same game BZ here for CLEM, pretty normal build order for both of them. Nothing has changed actually here into the build orders, just gas with supply depot and the barracks, and I'm pretty sure he's going to continue with a factory and with a starport. Orlos also out here on the map, scouting the proximity for any barracks and so on. So yeah, let's just see. SERRAL of course continue with his gas, with his spawning pool. So no major differences into the build order, pretty much the same build order, just like in the previous replays here onto the channel. So yeah, let's have a look what is going to happen here. The first Reaper is getting produced, nothing out of the ordinary like I told you. Looks like SERRAL is also preparing to take his second expansion very soon, as his overload is also closing here towards the bases from CLEM. And there's the SCV, just to check out if there was a expansion being completed here by SERRAL. And also yeah, in comes the SCV, just sees the expansion and immediately decides to stay back, and also immediately decides to gain some timing here just to delay the expansion, the other expansion here from SERRAL, as the SCV is now pretty much patrolling here the second expansion point from the opponent. In the meantime, the first Reaper, actually it's a Marine first build order here for CLEM, so no Reaper for him, interesting enough. Actually no, sorry, the Reaper is already out here harassing the mineral line, so sorry about this one. Just inflicting as much damage as he can here. Of course the Queen is getting produced by SERRAL, so this should be fended off very soon. And now CLEM is of course going to try to buy as much time as he can to delay the other expansion point from the Zerg, even climbing here up, but there are some queens very close by, so he needs to be careful. A well placed mine by him, as the expansion looks like it's going to be a little bit delayed. So very good job here by CLEM into the early stages of the game, just delaying the expansion as much as he can, even nicely microing this one Reaper, and in the end finally SERRAL is able to take that. So with this, the Reaper still patrolling here the map, being annoying as much as he can, so very nice job indeed by CLEM into the early stages, buying himself some couple of seconds in the advantage versus the opponent. Let's check the main. There's another command center, so we see the pretty much same build order just like in the previous replays. I believe this is the normal build order here for any Terran versus the Zerg, as he's now going for some Hellions, and perhaps he's going to be lucky to snipe some of the drones. Only one Hellion is moving out. There comes the backup, and I believe more Hellions should of course be produced here with another Banshee. So just like in game number 1, he's going for Banshees to inflict as much economic damage as he can towards the opponent. So yeah, let's just see what this push is going to be able to make here, as he's going to try to surround something, but in the end SERRAL is inflicting good damage. The Reaper has fallen, the Hellions has also taken some damage, and yeah, SERRAL with a very strong defensive move here versus the opponent, as no drones have been killed yet. But in come the reinforcements actually here for CLEM, so these drones would be a little bit exposed, so SERRAL needs to be careful. More queens of course have to be produced. Creep X on the ground. We see the Overlord is moving here forward, as the Hellions are pretty much on standby, and more Hellions are actually getting thrown out here by CLEM. Pretty soon I believe he's going to start a suicide mission with all of those Hellions to inflict damage towards the economy from SERRAL. Already taking quite some damage here. The Banshee should also be very close by very soon. There it is, the Banshee. So it could be a double attack here by CLEM with some Hellions here and with the Banshee, just to distract the enemy. So in comes the attack. Let's see exactly where he's going to decide to move forward. Splitting his troops here a little bit, moving out with the Hellions, just showing his presence. But the real damage dealer might be this one Banshee, but SERRAL seems to be ready for that. Cloak is being done very soon, but there is a Spore behind enemy lines. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen here. The Hellions are still patrolling the map. The Banshee is going to be very soon ready to attack. And yeah, the Hellions still on patrol. More creep is getting spreaded. Tier 2 is almost being done here for SERRAL. So he might go for some Mutalisk. It would be a possibility for him to go for Mutalisk. It would be very nice to see, but still the Hellions don't really make any difference here. Just SERRAL with a very good defense. The second Banshee, however, he's now moving forward, so this could be very deadly, as two Banshees can one-shot a drone. Hellions are getting pushed back finally. There is the Cloak, there is a Spore however here as well. So let's see what CLEM can do with those Banshees in the air, as in comes the attack very soon. See where he's heading. There is vision here for SERRAL. There's even an Overseer, but one Queen is dropping really low. So in the end, an impeccable defense here by SERRAL, as the Banshees take more and more damage. Yeah, with that I believe sadly CLEM not really making any economic damage towards his opponent. He has the other expansion here. It's pretty much exposed, so SERRAL could punish this. Sadly for him, he's not moving out with any Zerglings. Pretty much busy defending versus all of those units, but just a small group of Zerglings could actually inflict major damage towards the economy here. So yeah, let's see what is going to happen. The Hellions are still patrolling the map. The Banshee is also very close, but taking quite some damage. In comes the attack. The Spore not reacting yet, as two drones have been sniped, and the Overseer is nicely continuing to following those units here. So yeah, still focusing onto his defenses. Now finally a group of Zerglings are moving out, but yeah, the infantry here for CLEM is also moving out to secure the ramp right here, and very soon one Zergling is going to fall. Perhaps SERRAL needs to find a better path forward, but it looks like CLEM is once again being aggressive, moving forward with his units, trying to find a good position perhaps to attack the newly established base from the opponent. Perhaps this high ground is looking really strong. The tank is pretty much exposed. It's going to get surrounded, immediately taken out. So a good pickup here by SERRAL, as another tank here is in the back, but SERRAL at the same time is preparing perhaps a counter attack very soon versus CLEM. Clem needs to be careful versus that. As yeah, in comes the move with the Marines on the high ground. Banelings are chasing. Banelings are actually getting a straight move here forward, but the Medivacs do pick up most of the units. And perhaps Clem is going to try to redirect them into a newly spot to attack. There we also have another move out with 2 Medivacs into the newly established base. The bench is already starting dealing damage. The real action is of course happening here. More pickups here for SERRAL, as now finally the infantry will be able to move forward. And he's going straight once again for the hatchery with Stim. The Queens nicely try to heal this up, but yeah, more and more damage is being taken by the hatchery. So very nice move once again by Clem. He's showing us how important it is to actually go for the hatchery first, not go for the units. Just pretty much snipe the hatchery just to gain more and more of an economic advantage towards the enemy, as he's once again spreading his units nicely out, slowly but steadily, just snapping some of the creep eggs on the ground. And yeah, in comes the push actually here by SERRAL, being able to surround some of the units, taking some of the units out. But yeah, let's just see what's going to happen, as some spores have been added here for the opponent. So SERRAL with a great defense, but the reinforcements are nicely pulling here forward for Clem, as he's going to try to find a good position towards the newly established base. And I believe he's going to target this base right here, so perhaps some Queens need to heal this up very, very quickly, as Clem is looking like he's pretty much going to commit. He knows he has dealt a lot of damage towards the hatchery, so this is his plan moving forward, spreading his Marines nicely here, having the tanks in the back, having the mines as well. And in comes the push. Some bangs will be sacrificed here, and Stim is going up really, really nicely. The units are nicely getting lured here forward towards the tanks, and SERRAL is actually taking more and more damage. The creep axe will be sniped here as well, as Clem might try once again to inflict damage straight towards the hatchery, and that's exactly what he's doing. The hatchery dropping really, really low, and it was looking like mission completed here for him. Of course, the tanks will be stayed back with some mines there as well. SERRAL will be able to pretty much take everything out, but the mission has been completed. The hatchery has been taken out. So much mining time is being lost here by SERRAL. And let's see what the next move here from Clem is going to be, as SERRAL tries of course to counter this, but the reinforcements are already pulling forward, and now Clem even adding some Hellbats on the ground. Hellbats very strong versus those Banelings and versus the Zerglings here as well, pretty much melting all of those units. But at the same time, SERRAL is also taking out a couple of important units. Some tanks have been taken out, some Widow Mines here as well, but in the end he's getting forced back. So a pretty good game by both players, and perhaps with a small advantage given the fact that he has snapped this hatchery right here, taking quite some time for SERRAL to rebuild this. So yeah, lots and lots of mining time has been lost here by him, as Clem once again very, very close towards the enemy, pushing here forward with those medivacs, with the other units. And let's have a look here, even having some medivacs here into this location, trying of course to inflict as much damage as he can towards the enemy. We have passed the 10-minute mark. SERRAL still on the defense. SERRAL not really being able to move out. He's just focusing onto the defense, focusing onto his macro oriented game. Clem not really allowing him to move out, as he's attacking on 2 different fronts. And even this location right here looks like it's getting secured here by Clem. Clem once again is moving forward, snapping the hatchery and just pretty much moving out. So that's a very smart move once again by him. Just like in the previous games, he's showing us that really, really important to snap the hatcheries. Perhaps some Sunkens would be even needed here for the Zerg to give more protection towards the expansion. Perhaps some Queens should be laid close by to the hatchery just to heal it up. So more defenses are much needed here for SERRAL, as he's losing once again a hatchery even here on the high ground. So once again Clem with a very nice abusive gameplay here by him, not really allowing the macro game for SERRAL to kick in, inflicting more and more damage towards those Zerglings, and even at the same time defending here with the planetary fortress. So yeah, SERRAL just pretty much moving back and forward, not really being able at the same time to inflict damage towards the economy from the opponent. So yeah, very, very good game here by Clem. And the hatchery once again needs to be rebuilt. Finally, this hatchery is now getting guarded by some Zerglings and by some Banelings. At the same time, SERRAL is now moving forward. He knows of course that the best defense is the attack, so let's just see if he's going to be able to make something happen now with some Hydras on the ground. Maybe some lurkers will be added here as well. This expansion looks like it's pretty much exposed, but we have a planetary fortress and 201 supply here for SERRAL. as some Zerglings will be sacrificed here. Great Widow Mine connections and some grain surrounded here actually for SERRAL, as he's able to push finally CLEM back, but the damage has been done already. The expansion once again getting cancelled here, so pretty good move. SERRAL now looking like he's pretty much going to commit here forward. Lots and lots of mines on the ground, and finally SERRAL make it here forward with some upgraded Zerglings. At the same time there comes the counter-attack from the back. Still the Zerglings are inflicting good damage towards this expansion right here, as SERRAL looks like he's pretty much going to move forward, but the kiting is really strong by CLEM, as he's nicely kiting those units back and forward. Some great abducts here by the Vipers. CLEM on the high ground, on the low ground, and SERRAL now has to push back once again, as still some Banelings are getting taken out. The Hellbats are now in the front with the Marauders, giving more tankiness. Only 7 SCVs have been sniped. This hatchery should be able to finish here, but still a great game here actually by both players, and SERRAL at the same time taking another expansion here onto the map, as is now at 76 workers versus the 75 here already here for CLEM. So CLEM with a great macro game indeed by him, scanning the areas, just making sure that SERRAL is not close by, and SERRAL looks like he's pretty much going to commit here forward, just regrouping his units, massing them together, now just spreading them out just to give more protection towards the newly established bases here, and CLEM at the same time also pretty much maxed out with the Ghosts once again joining the army. So the Ghosts pretty much to be ready to snipe the Lurkers, to snipe the Banelings as the scan is continuing here. Let's see if he's going to go straight for those eggs on the ground, as SERRAL is putting up his troops to give protection towards all of the bases. The Vipers will be sniped. Important pickups here by CLEM, as he's more and more moving forward. A nice move here by SERRAL, taking out the mine, and let's see what's going to happen here as CLEM is pretty much stimming up. He is on the high ground, he even has some Liberators into the air, so SERRAL needs to be careful here. Great Baneling connections actually, but there have been so many Liberators in the air, so this unit right here, sadly here for SERRAL, he's losing those the protection here, and he pretty much has to bring all of his reinforcements back here to defend. At the same time his other expansion is going to be exposed, so CLEM with a nice strategic move here, once again stimming up, taking out the hatchery, and I believe the same can be said here into this location, as he's once again stimming up, not allowing SERRAL to do his macro game. He's once again going to try to snipe another hatchery. He's nicely kiting those units back and forward, inflicting damage everywhere he can, and only Zerglings are actually being left here for SERRAL, as now once again CLEM tries to attack here as well. So CLEM pretty much all over the place, just taking out overlords, overseers, hatcheries, even the Hydrisk on the ground. Only Zerglings are being left here for SERRAL, as the Ghosts are still pretty much around, sniping everything they can, and GG, well played. CLEM taking even game number 3, so it's already 3-0. SERRAL under a lot of pressure. Let's just jump straight into game. And I'm back with game number 4. SERRAL in some serious trouble here, as CLEM is leading actually the score with 3-0. So very convincing gameplay here from the player from French, as now they're spawning on Ghost River, I believe a 2 spawning location map. So SERRAL really has to make something happen here. He really has to either change his tactics or perhaps get lucky with some pushes just to punish here CLEM. So we have spawning in the upper left in the red, it is SERRAL from Finland, and his opponent here currently leading 3-0. It is CLEM from France as the blue Terran. So let's have a look if SERRAL is indeed going to change anything early on. Perhaps he's going to try to be more aggressive, but no, by the looks of it he's just going straight once again with a fast expansion into cancelling the gas for more supply for him. So pretty standard stuff, just like in the previous replays. Perhaps he's going to play it more safe, but at the same time a roach push could be a possibility for him. Perhaps faster Ultralisk would also be nice for him, or Broodlords with more Infestors and more Vipers to just punish the late game Terran. In the meantime, CLEM with the same build order, with the barracks and the supply depot and the gas early on. So it looks like pretty much the same build order, just like in the previous 3 replays by both players. Nothing out of the ordinary yet, no early harassment, no intentions for CLEM to go for some hidden barracks in the middle of the map to try some pushes with some Marines early on. There we have the spawning pool, there's the gas, and yeah, let's see how the game is going to continue here for both players. Looks like the SCV once again has been sent out to check out the expansion right here, and CLEM already going for his expansion. This seems to be the new build order for the Terran versus the Zerg. Barracks straight into expansion and then walling off here with some supply depots. as the SCV will of course scout the expansion here for CLEM. I believe if he wouldn't have seen an expansion, he would have immediately cancelled this expansion right here, as an immediate push with some Zerglings would have happened here for SERRAL. But yeah, SERRAL plays it very, very safe, very, very normal here versus his opponent. And yeah, let's just see when or if and how much time is CLEM going to win once again by blocking the second expansion point from the opponent. The queen is getting spawned very, very soon. One drone already taking quite some damage here, so SERRAL needs to be careful. Nicely out microing this one with a save, with a spore. So the one Reaper already dealing quite some damage versus SERRAL, as finally it's getting pushed out. The drone is still much hurt, and perhaps CLEM going to try to snap it, as the expansion point still pretty much under control here from CLEM with the SCV, with the Reaper right here. So SERRAL actually finding his time, but he also loses some seconds here. Perhaps he's going into a tier 2 upgrade. It would be a possibility for him, but usually Zergs really like to go for their second expansion. However, we have already passed the 3-minute mark, so CLEM with a very interesting move here forward. Actually, SERRAL seems to be droning up more, 5 drones, and now he's going for tier 2, so a completely different strategy here for him. Just blocking here the entrance for the Reaper. Tier 2 it is for SERRAL. Let's just see what his intentions are. Perhaps he's going to be going for some Mutalisk. The Reaper is still alive. He might try to move here forward as SERRAL with a different strategy here versus CLEM. Let's just check CLEM really quick into his main factory with another barracks. So double barracks for him with another expansion. Playing very, very macro orientated. No starport yet for him. The Reaper is still patrolling this area, so he knows that something fishy is happening. This is why the Reaper is going to move here forward, but SERRAL exactly on point, killing this Reaper. And with that, I believe he's either going to expand right here or either going for a Roach push. There is the Roach warren, so this should of course ring alarm bells here for CLEM, as he might be forced to go into some tanks very, very fast. So let's see. This is indeed the intentions for SERRAL, as the tier 2 has been done. Still no second expansion point. CLEM is still searching this area right here and securing it with some Hellions. So very, very aggressive move and a very nice positional move here with a great control here for CLEM versus the opponent, as we're closing into towards the 5-minute mark, and there's still no tier 2. So there's still no other expansion here, and as the Overseer is patrolling everything, perhaps we might even see a Nidus Swarm here for SERRAL versus the opponent. Could be a possibility. There is an Overseer here taking some damage already. I believe a Viking was shooting it down. No, actually the Marines were there, so this Overseer of course could give control for a Nidus Swarm. In the meantime, 2 drones have been snapped, but also 2 Hellions have dropped here, and he saw the Roaches. So we do indeed have a Roach push here finally for SERRAL. So SERRAL with some Roaches, with some Ravagers, going straight forward. There are no tanks yet here for CLEM. 2 Medivacs are getting produced, but this expansion right here is very likely going to be the first target for the Roaches. Even some Queens are getting moved out for him. So this is pretty much an all-in by SERRAL with a very late second expansion point for him. As in come the Roaches. Let's see, going to be successful into snapping those Marines. Of course, Roaches very strong versus the Marines. No anti-air, 2 SCVs on idle. Another SCV will be snapped, so 2 SCVs have already fallen. A very aggressive move finally for SERRAL, but the high ramp is pretty much in control. However, SERRAL going straight for more workers, snapping worker after worker. There is Stim, but the Roaches are of course very tanky, very strong versus those Marines. Finally in come the SCVs now in the front. Lots of SCVs will fall here, but the Marines are now with Stim, should be able to take care of this. However, SERRAL now going straight for the Marines and even some SCVs, so lots and lots of damage left and right, but in the end CLEM should be able to hold. However, at what cost, as 15 SCVs have fallen here already and the reinforcements are pulling in from the back. 16 SCVs all of a sudden. Still the Roaches, so much tanky, so many damages have been absorbed by them, and in the end, let's have a look. Finally the Queens also arrive here forward, as there is finally a tank here for CLEM, and this tank could be his saving grace, as so much damage, so much splash damage will be taken here for SERRAL. So the Marines do hold, mules have been called up forward, but these tanks give so much security, so much range for CLEM, as another tank could be stationed here into this position, giving even more protection towards CLEM. 19 SCVs have fallen, however, as SERRAL with 46 versus 44. However, with the tanks on the high ground, I believe this rush should be over. SERRAL, however, looks like he's going to commit forward, snapping a tank. That's very, very good for him. but in the end the Marines will now catch up with the reinforcements, and one tank after all of those units. Even the Overseer might get sniped here, so with that I believe the rush is pretty much over. We will soon arrive at the 10-minute mark, and CLEM was holding, so a very aggressive move, pretty much suicide mission here for SERRAL. He did snipe the tank, but at what cost? He was able to inflict lots and lots of damage towards the expansion points, towards those SCVs. And now will we finally turn into a normal game? Let's see. Army was pretty much the same army for both players, as another Overlord is going to get sniped here by CLEM. So CLEM nicely holding, nicely stimming up, going back and forward, and for lots and lots of approaches. I don't think he should engage here. Of course, he's picking up his units. Perhaps he's going to try with another medivac push very soon towards another location. In the meantime, he might just snap this Overlord right here and just secure his expansion with the tank. So very smart move indeed by the Terran, having combat shields now being finished, as some roaches will be thrown out here. But the queens are pretty much exposed. Still CLEM just patrolling the map with those medivacs. And yeah, now finally deciding to unload and secure the other expansion point. He might be lucky to snap the drone. In come the roaches with the Ravagers. Marines do take damage, but in the end it should be okay, as even one medivac is really pretty much hurt. But in the meantime, another group of Marines with medivacs are moving forward just to snipe the creep eggs on the ground. And let's see, is SERRAL going to hold? He doesn't really have so many units left, as egg after egg is getting creeped. Almost a medivac is getting sniped here. Stim is being pushed here by the Marines forward. One medivac really low, the other medivacs pretty much on hold to secure this expansion point right here. Now just pretty much picking up, and I believe SERRAL, actually CLEM could reposition his Marines. It's going straight for the hatchery, forcing a cancellation. And let's have a look what's going to happen here. SERRAL, of course, on the defense, he really has to now defend his newly established bases versus the Marines here, versus the push from CLEM. And we actually have some Marauders now, some tanks to secure this location right here. 4 tanks already. CLEM could push actually out very soon, but we actually do have some infestors and fungals, of course, very strong to counter the infantry on the ground. We might see a engagement here in the middle of the map, and not that many units available for SERRAL, as he just showing his presence here just to give time for his expansions to be done. And let's see what's going to happen here. CLEM, of course, much more mobile here with his medivacs, with his afterburner as he's moving out, and in the back I believe he should have some tanks, of course, to secure the expansion points, as the Doom drop seems to be getting slower and steadily here forward. Stim is still going out. CLEM not allowing a creep highway for SERRAL, even having the high ground, and he might attack on 2 different fronts with those medivacs. He might attack here into this location, and he also might attack straight forward here. Lots and lots of roaches, but there's so many Marines with Stim immediately taking out roach after roach. SERRAL tries his best to out-micro this. He needs his reinforcements really quick, or drones immediately getting dropped here. Reinforcements do arrive, but with that CLEM is just going to pick up and pretty much ignore this, moving back and forward. Just keeps on guessing SERRAL where exactly the same drop is going to happen. He might be lucky to snap some queens over here. Let's see if this is indeed his plan. The queens do take some damage. Reinforcements are moving forward. The Marines actually dropping lower and lower as one medivac has been killed, but the push is still continuing here as CLEM sniping egg after egg, as he's now moving forward, almost getting killed with some vials by the Ravagers. And yeah, let's have a look what's going to happen here, as so many roaches with some Hydras. So all of a sudden SERRAL having quite a large force here, as he might try to move forward. He's already at 180 supply, perhaps going for the newly established base from his opponent. If this could be his plans, at the same time he has some overlords at home. Reinforcements are moving forward, so SERRAL all of a sudden feeling really confident, as in come the reinforcements, in come the tanks from the Terran, straight a little bit exposed actually in the front. So if he's lucky, a great fungal now being casted by SERRAL, and CLEM in some serious trouble. But in come the reinforcements from the high ground, and tanks are still shooting here from the high ground, as there's been some damage done. At the same time we do have a counter attack with those 2 medivacs. 4 drones have been sniped. SERRAL now pretty much attacking forward, but there's still tanks in the back, in a very bad position here actually for SERRAL, as the infantry continues to push here forward. One Viper might get sniped, so the important units are pretty much falling here for SERRAL left and right. Another Viper could be sniped, and there's the victory for CLEM. So SERRAL actually deciding to GG out. So what a great move here by CLEM in the end. SERRAL dropping to 140 soul supply, those medivacs proving to be really strong. Yeah, let's just jump straight. And I'm back with game number 5. What a great series here by CLEM, currently leading with 4-0. SERRAL in some serious trouble. What a great performance here by the French player, pretty much outplaying SERRAL with those medivacs in the air, with the different groups of marines on the ground, gaining great control of the map, just pretty much punishing the expansions from SERRAL and gaining a great advantage here, as he's leading currently with 4-0. He's spawning in the lower left as the blue Terran. It is CLEM from France, and his opponent here in the upper right in the red, it is SERRAL from Finland, who's currently 0-4 behind, so only a miracle can bring SERRAL back into this series. Let's see, the build order still going for a fast expansion. He tried, of course, to be more aggressive with the Rogers. At one point he had the advantage, but he was a little bit too greedy to snipe those tanks on the high ground. Was pretty much a suicide mission, and yeah, later on he just lost way too much in a bad position as the medivac dropped those important units into the main, and after losing the Vipers and some overloads, of course SERRAL had to give up, given the fact that CLEM had pretty much the advantage secured there. So yeah, CLEM still with the same build order, barracks into supply depot with gas. Very soon I believe he's going to send out a Reaper, as SERRAL also sending out here his overload. We're on Crimson Court, a 2 spawning location map I believe, and there we have the spawning pool with the soon to be gas for the Finnish player. So yeah, Reaper is inbound, I believe. CLEM with the same build order going for the expansion and also sending out his SCV, the important SCV, to check out the expansion here for SERRAL. So yeah, let's see if CLEM is going to try anything different. However, his strategy is working out really well. Those medivacs with those marines pretty much proving to be outstanding. A very nice multitask here for CLEM, as he's just moving 2 different groups of marines with medivacs throughout the enemy lines in 2 different directions, and just inflicting as much economic damage as possible against the opponent. Even nicely blocking here now the exit, but SERRAL is ready for that with 2 Zerglings, as the Reaper is also coming here forward for the Terran player. And I believe the next expansion is very likely going to be into this location right there. Let's see what the Reaper can do. He might be lucky to snap 1 Zergling very close, but now in comes the Queen, and with that the early harassment should of course be over. And yeah, let's see, main, there we have the barracks factory. I believe he's going to go once again for his expansion. So this is the difference. He's not going for a 1-1-1 build order, he's going straight for a expansion just to secure his mid game with an economic advantage. Same time in comes the Reaper, almost getting shot here down. So yeah, CLEM showing us a nice build order. So barracks into factory, then command center, and also having this command center here on the low ground. So very nice, economic oriented, and at the same time he's not going for a starport yet, he's going for his second barracks. Pretty interesting stuff here by the French player with a very nice build order and a great harassment, but the Reaper might get sniped. It's just lucky with 2 HP right now, as the tier 2 is once again starting here for SERRAL. So SERRAL might try once again a push with some more roaches. There we have the roach warren pretty much exposed. I believe the Reaper is going to see this, so once again we might see a roach push very soon. We do have some Hellions, no starport yet here for the Terran. I believe he's going to save some money for the tanks, of course, much needed tanks. Either tanks or Banshees in the air could also be very good versus the roach push, as SERRAL is once again trying to inflict massive damage towards the opponent. But in come the Hellions, and they're actually moving forward, so SERRAL has to block it with a nice evolution chamber. However, so much mining time has been lost, so still a successful move here by those Hellions. Might even be lucky to snipe the drone there. Now the Hellions are pretty much locked in, and they might be lucky to shoot down some drones. Let's see, 1 has fallen, so SERRAL with a lucky defense here, saving all of those zones. But like I told you, some mining time has been delayed. Let's check once again the main here from CLEM, as we do have the starport almost getting finished. Still no tanks for him, just a bunker actually getting produced here for him. So interesting strategy here for CLEM, going for a bunker, expecting of course a roach push. There are the roaches, there are the waiting here perhaps for some reinforcements, as some tanks are of course much needed for him. and another barracks. So 3 barracks with 1 starport. There are the 2 medivacs already getting produced as the Roach Roar is just starting now here for SERRAL. So SERRAL going straight for those roaches, and it's very important, I believe, here for CLEM to have those tanks out very soon. A tech lab actually for the factory, as the roaches are closing slowly but steadily here by towards the base from the Terran. A bunker is up. There are some medivacs. Let's see, stim should be finished, and some roaches might already take some damage. So yeah, stim has already been done, of course. 1 roach has been sniped. There in come the queens, and they might even try to indeed create more creep here onto the ground. So yeah, very smart move, but the overlord might get sniped here. So very nice move by CLEM. Sniping this 1 overlord was really important for him, and with that all of those roaches and all of those queens have actually been killed, and now even more units are pretty much locked here by CLEM. So what a lucky move, what a great actually calculated move. I believe he really wanted to do that. The Marines are really pretty much hurt, but that was a very great snipe, and now even the bunker should give more protection towards those units right here. I believe no tanks are needed yet for him, as so much has been lost here for SERRAL, and now SERRAL still pushing forward, but it would have been much better to have those queens with those creep packs on the ground. 2 supply depots have fallen, but now we even have a tank here in the back, and with that of course CLEM is going to try to lure the units from SERRAL forward into the tank, but I believe he's looking really healthy, really strong, even able to move out with his Marines in the front, stimming up, sniping roach after roach. Not that many units are actually being left here alive for SERRAL, as he has to retreat towards the creep. And with that, I believe even the push has been pretty much held for CLEM, as he's able to secure his other expansion point. So very nice move here forward by SERRAL, but in the end he was pretty much taken by surprise by CLEM with a very courageous move out here. Being able to snap the overlords, being able to snap those queens was really important for him and the reinforcements for SERRAL. So SERRAL in some trouble right here. He does keep on expanding all over the map, but yeah, right with that, old CLEM now of course pretty much in the advantage here into this game. Another factory actually being produced here by him. Let's have a look at his main starport. More Marines, more tanks are being used. Combat shields have been finished, as he's moving out with 4 medivacs, and this expansion right here straight into his path as he's moving forward. Some roaches are here, but the stim is really strong. Nice micro here by SERRAL as he's saving 1 roach, and yeah, in comes the perhaps drop straight towards the hatchery. Let's just see where exactly the next targets are going to be here for CLEM. CLEM of course also buying time some for his expansions right here, as he's going for yet another expansion. So just with some Marines and with some medivacs being very nice, very abusive here towards the map, as so many upgrades will finish here actually for both players. And he will of course keep on guessing SERRAL where exactly the next drop is going to happen here, as we do see an overseer, so we might see another swarm attempt. But yes, CLEM very fast into responding against that, as the medivacs once again have been split up here. So CLEM with the same tactics once again, splitting up his medivacs, attacking. He will very likely attack on 2 different fronts. However, in comes SERRAL with his units, as he's also going to try to attack perhaps, and speed for the Zerglings will be finished. So we might see a great fungal here happening. Great fungal indeed, catching so many medivacs. He might have even tried to cast, but in comes the drop here by CLEM, and this expansion right here, actually the main is pretty much exposed. Just a couple of roaches here to defend. This could be really deadly against so many Marines with stim, and those medivacs are of course dealing so much health towards the infantry right here. In the end this will be pushed back, but CLEM having great control, just pretty much unlocking and unzipping those Marines onto the ground. Finally finding a good position here for them. The Zerglings will have a great bad time here to engage. At the same time we see him once again move out. It's also many different groups onto the ground. Very hard to execute, of course. Very great micro here by the French player, as he's pretty much all over the map in 3 different fronts. He has those into the main from SERRAL. It's very hard, of course, for SERRAL to defend against so much. Perhaps at one point CLEM is going to try to regroup his units. That's exactly what he's doing here into the main. At the same time we still see a drop here, killing 2 drones. So CLEM with a great multitask here. Indeed, finally the high risk arrive, and he should of course snipe the medivacs right here. So perhaps SERRAL with a small mistake But yeah, the real action here is of course happening here into the middle of the map. So many drones are pretty much exposed here. Lurkers are inbound, but we do see a scan. A great fungal indeed happening here, but CLEM seems to be having way too much here versus the opponent as he's moving forward. The hatchery once again pretty much exposed. The tanks in the back dealing so much splash damage against the reinforcements. Finally income more and more vultures here for the opponent, but CLEM holds his ground. He's guarding his tanks. There's even tanks in the back, and the roaches will of course stand no chance against so much splash damage. And still another tank in the back, and SERRAL has to GG out. And there we have it, it's 5-0 for CLEM. So CLEM pretty much with an outstanding gameplay here for him, punishing the previous world champion, and now we actually have a new world champion. It is CLEM from France. What a great performance here by him, what a great multitask all over the map. Really great gameplay here by him, especially with his medivacs and with his marines on the ground, securing him the game right here. So a great series. I wouldn't have expected to be so clear. A 5-0 for the French player. What a great execution here by him, and great build order for him here as well. So congratulations to him, congratulations to France. I hope you guys enjoyed this grand final. I'm going to try to cast even more games and be as active as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Tommy signing out.